So Jon Jones spoke out this week in what seems to be where all players and fighters release their statements nowadays, or all celebrities release their statements, and that is the world of Twitter. Jon telling Dana that he's not getting paid enough money and he's going to relinquish the light heavyweight title. People wondering if it's actually just, tantrum from Jones, whether he's serious about this, whether Dana's just lowballing him or what's going on. I just think this is a bit of a public negotiations. I think for Jon, he's probably looking at the light heavyweight division right now, and there's no real names in that division apart from Jon Jones. I know there's other good fighters in that division. They just don't make Jon the money fights. He's been saying that they want him to move up to heavyweight, but they want to pay him the same amount of money that they did at light heavyweight for lesser fights. Dana had said that Jones wanted to pay Deontay Wilder money upwards of 30 million, when in his last fight he just made the 5 million. Just, I say. I wouldn't mind making 5 million, would you? I'd even fight Francis Ngannou for it. Or no, I wouldn't. But in my eyes, I am a massive Jon Jones fan. I love GSP. I love Anderson Silva. I think they were both great pioneers of the sport. It's just been Jon Jones for me though. I think he's the greatest fighter in history of the UFC. He's had his problems, but he's maybe not a great human being. But as a fighter, he's pretty good. And recently he has been doing some good. I've seen in Albuquerque, he's been going around trying to clean up the city, help out some small businesses. The negotiations are clearly that Jon values himself high and he should do. He's probably, after Conor McGregor, maybe their biggest star. And the UFC are certainly thinking that, you're not Conor McGregor at the end of the day. You're not going to make the 30 million. So it's just a public, loggerheads at the minute. But I think that with Jon, there is no fights at light heavyweight anymore for him. I know the Dominic Reyes fight could be there again. The Santos fight, but it really is now, I think, the time for Jon to have this legacy-defining fights. He's had enough. He's had some good ones, but the Francis Ngannou, maybe he goes up to heavyweight, fights DC. I know in the past, DC has said that he'd come back down to light heavyweight because that's where Jon had beat him before, and for him to make Jon go up to heavyweight would just be giving DC an advantage, and DC would like to be up against the wall again. And there's, of course, the Israel Adesanya fight. Not a big fan of that fight myself. Although it's a good technical fight, I do think a good bit big always beats a good little, and in this case it's a GOAT big versus a very, very good little. If I had to choose myself, I'd probably like to see him go up and take on a contender, certainly within that top 5. Maybe it's DC again at heavyweight. I'd like to see it at heavyweight. I think Jon, he could be around 230 maybe, and that's certainly good enough to stand with some of those heavyweights. The Ngannou fight intrigue is very much that Jon Jones just seems to school everybody, but he can be hit. We've seen him in recent fights. He seems to be slowing down just a little bit, enough to be tagged quite a bit, and you do not want to be tagged by Francis Ngannou. But has Francis Ngannou got the know-how? He's a good fighter, but he can bang, that's for sure, but he is a bit all over the place. I'd actually like to see Jon take on somebody else first, and maybe Ngannou take on DC, and I think that would be an interesting fight. But we'll, I'm sure, in the next few weeks find out what's going to happen with this. I do think eventually they'll come to some sort of agreement. Jon Jones will get paid. He'll go up to heavyweight most likely, and probably have a big fight with somebody later on in the year. Maybe DC3, maybe Stipe, maybe Ngannou. I'd probably like to do some sort of watch along for a fight like that. I really want to expand the channel into doing watch alongs for boxing, maybe for the NBA finals, for UFC pay-per-views, for the Super Bowl. So tell me what you think. Who should be next for Jon Bones? Should he hold out for more money? Is he overpricing himself? Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching.